Welcome to Tuesdays with Andrea podcast. This week, we are starting a two-part series with my friend, Ivory Lofton. He is a Chicago-based rapper, recording artist by the name of Vo, and he has since blown up in the music scene, and I'm excited to talk to him. We were great friends in college, and we haven't seen or talked to each other since. So in this conversation, you're seeing the connection happen again. We reconnect after 18 years, fill each other in about where we've been, and he shares his journey. He talks about working with rapper Twista. He talks about being a high school or a college dropout and a janitor, and he shares his rise and his headspace of where he's at now. And it's such an enlightening conversation. We talk about insecurities and how we could let that stop us, but we don't. And he also shares some thought-provoking conversation about the God and the Bible and faith and racism. And that's going to be next week in part 2. So I hope you guys enjoy the show. Tune in both weeks. It's a great series. Don't miss it. And thank you for watching. Appreciate it.
Thank you for tuning in to Tuesdays with Andrea. Today we have special guest, Ivory Lofton. He is a recording artist and rapper. He goes by the name Vo, and he is a dear friend from college. I am so glad to have you in the studio. This is like comfortable.
I know, right?
It just feels comfortable.
It's amazing.
Thank you for being here, Ivory.
I wouldn't miss it.
Vo.
And it happened
Vo.
quick. No. Ivory is cool. And it happened quick. It happened so quick. Yeah.
We saw each other on Instagram.
Like 2 days ago.
And connected. And we're like, what?
Yeah. I love what you're doing. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Likewise, you blew up.
It's coming.
You blew up.
It's
so
coming.
in college, he would rap every time he's walking, everywhere we're going. And he was always having a verse, always thinking about music, always thinking about ways to put words together.
Right.
And here you are, superstar rapper, based from Chicago and out doing big things. So talk to us about where you are right now.
I'm currently in a place now where I'm extremely grateful for the following that I have, to where I got a little leverage when it come to meeting with the bigger companies. So I don't have to compromising is everything, of course, but I don't have to do too much, can I say butt kissing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have to do too much butt kissing and a lot of things that a lot of people have to do, just because I kind of have that following, and that's what it's all about. So the place I'm in now I feel so good. It's so amazing.
Yeah.
Just to have people naturally gravitate to you. No gimmicks, it wasn't forced. It wasn't a system feeding it to you, or you turn on the radio and hear it every other 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It just organically happened.
And you say organically happen because people are naturally drawn. And when you're putting out great music and content, you can, people appreciate that. They look for that. But I know it didn't come without work and effort. And it didn't come without those years of having to try to get the meetings or try to get the people to respect you in the industry. And now you're at a position where you have that respect and you have that leverage. Talk about some of those, like what you had to go through to get where you are.
Yeah. Well, that's oh my goodness. You pulling on my emotional strings, bro. No, even with what you bringing up back to our college days. And I've sacrificed so much for this, to where it's kind of like, contentment is hard to find nowadays.
Yeah.
Right? It's always, okay, now what? You got a viral video, now you got to do another one. So unfortunately, your great deeds are temporary nowadays.
Yeah. And your newest viral video is called Black Man. Is that the one?
Right.
The newest?
I don't think it's going viral yet, but it is the new one, though.
I mean, it's good. It definitely has that message of...
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that's where I'm at now as far as my position as artistry. It's like, even you bringing up my college days, which we're not going to tell my age, but that was a long time
Hey,
ago.
we're like the same age, aren't we? We're young.
Yeah.
What you talking about?
So even with that, it's like, I put so much time in here, and now I'm finally in a position where people want to hear what I want to say.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say what needs to be said now. So now it's like, the music is still fun and enjoyable, but now it's more so like, what do we need as a people? Right? Like, so now I'm more so understanding the heartbeat, the nature of the world, understanding how all of this work. And now it's like, okay, this thing that started off as a passion might be a purpose, right? Like, and I don't know how you look at the two, but
Yes.
yeah, but it's like, a passion is definitely something that I want to do that I think is, I get a kick out of, and I just view purpose. It's like, what do you offer in the world? What is and I kind of think that, man, my two got kind of tangled, right? I actually enjoy this, and it's like helpful. It's beneficial. It's not weekend music. It's something that you listen to and can actually change your thinking process.
Mm-hmm.
And when I realized that, I said, this is too powerful to be used in the wrong way. Right? It's just too powerful. Like, I can say something and just make this whole situation a lot worse, or I can just say something, the uncool thing, because,
And you're literally feeding into the minds of other people, the listeners.
Right.
Like that, I would say positivity or the message of resilience, the message of power, a message of strength.
Right.
And I like that. I like that your music has those themes, and that when you're listening, you're coming away feeling more confident, or at least more understanding of, it's not thinking when you hear like a typical rap song with derogatory towards women,
right,
for example, like you don't call women out their name.
Nah,
like this is something that is uplifting for women, and it's a message that men also need to hear. Right. So talk about that.
That's just integrity and values and morals in life. I don't even do it outside of music. So it's just always just that natural respect of, like, it's for women. Like, come on, y'all are like everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So and I appreciate you looking at it that way.
Yeah.
Because in these later years in my life, I realized like perception is everything. So even for you to perceive it that way, it's like, thank you. Everybody don't perceive it that way.
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes positivity could be unpopular. It's just not cool.
Yeah.
Right? Like doing the right thing isn't fun.
Right.
So
it's not. Yeah.
Yeah. So you dealing with that aspect as well. So it's kind of like, all right, now my ego getting involved. Like, do I show these people like ain't nobody messing with me? You know what I'm saying? Do I really tap into this ego side of me, or do I just continue to do the right? And it's just that thing that just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I go through a lot of that, but I do appreciate your perception of it. Yeah.
When you're looking at new music and you're making music, how do you create new music? What's your process? Do you find the beat first? Do you start with the message? Do you start with what you want to say?
Yeah, that's a good question, Dre. So out of 100%, I would like to think it's at least 25, 30% of what I want to say. It's just already there. And I'll go to a studio with like, nah, that ain't it. Go to another. And I don't produce beats. So I would need a producer for it. And we listening to beats and I'm like, okay, that's not it. That's not it. But then sometimes I hear something where it's like, I don't know what the heck that was, but play it again. And then words just, they come. So I literally just sit there. And you'll think I'm crazy if you're in the room. It's a lot of, right? It's a lot of freestyling in your head. What is this saying? What is this saying? Okay, the drums. Okay. And my voice is like a instrument. So I try to identify every instrument in a beat. Okay, that's the hi-hats, that's the drums, that's the okay, what is it missing? And I try to give it what it's missing. I know a lot of artists will hear like a melody in a beat, and they'll try to come up with words that rhyme that.
Yeah.
I was at the park. You know what I'm saying? With me, it's like that's already there. Let me add something that's not there.
Okay.
So the first thing I'm thinking of is melodies. No words.
No words.
Just melodies. Pull out my phone. I'm recording voice memos. So words come extremely easy to me. Extremely easy. The hard part is like, what do you want to say?
Yeah.
What do you want to say, right? I can talk about anything, which is a good thing, but a bad thing. Because now you get this record and it's like a 3-4 minute song. And it's like, all right, you got a lot to say. Now you got to summarize it. Now I got to start taking parts away and then find the melodies, find a couple words that I like. So I might say, sabbatical. Oh, I like how sabbatical was on that beat. I'll write sabbatical down and then I'll write radical. Just write a bunch of words, right? Just, I don't care.
I can't think of any other words.
Right. But that's good though, right?
I still can't.
You still can't. It's a lot of words that rhyme with sabbatical, right?
Fanatical. You just named them.
Did I? So and I just go through these words, and then at the end of all of this brainstorming, I just piece it together like a puzzle. So like I got 2 sheets of paper and I still write on paper. The right side I keep blank. The left side is just a bunch of brainstorming ideas. And then I literally just put it all together.
Wow.
So that's my creative process. Sometimes I just go in the booth and just press record and what happened.
So you released how many albums have you released?
I believe 4.
4?
3 or 4.
Wow.
Yep. I believe so.
And in one of your albums, you talk about being a janitor before.
Yes.
How did this happen? What was the transition like? I know what's been your life since we last saw each other in college?
Oh my goodness. So when we I got kicked out of school.
Did you really?
Yes.
No, you didn't.
I did.
Why? Because of grades or what?
Yeah, the grades.
Really?
I could not maintain a GPA to keep playing football.
Really?
Yeah. And
after freshman year or what?
After freshman year. So they almost kicked me out because I got hit with a plagiarism on a paper.
Really?
You didn't know none of this?
No. I mean, I was so caught up. Like I don't remember any of it.
Okay, so this would be interesting because a lot of people don't. So at school, I don't know if you recall, my freshman year, I won like Mr. NCC.
Oh yes, I remember that.
Okay, so now going into the next year, I guess the winner is supposed to come back and crown the next person. They wouldn't even allow me to do that. Everybody over the program was pulling to get me back, but they wouldn't even let me do that. But I almost got hit with the plagiarism case, had a hangover. And it was, I don't know how much you can recall, but yeah, I had a lot of people like doing my homework for me and I wasn't.
You just weren't taking it seriously.
Not at all.
Okay, hold on. Is this because it's North Central and you were recruited for football and perhaps your grades weren't there in high school? Like you weren't a student.
Right, no.
Right? And so part of me sees this happen a lot in higher education institutions. You have recruited athletes come, but they're not ready to be the academic type.
Right.
And then they don't achieve and they get kicked out. I mean, this happens a lot.
Right. It does. And my level of interest, it was like no classes that I was interested in. I didn't know that. I was just like, I don't know, just give them to me.
Yeah,
and then I just want to play football and see some girls and that's it.
And you were just such a social butterfly too.
Right.
Like you were just always out there. Like,
and it's a new life. I come from like an urban community. I'm not even used to being around mixed races, right? So this is a whole culture shock. Like Caucasian women love us. Like
they loved you.
Oh yeah, I like this place.
Ivory was like, I mean, Bo.
Yeah.
Bo.
No, it's cool. But no, and it was that thing, Dre, and it was just the lack of focusness. So from there, I literally ended up signing my first record deal. The very next, I got a job at the post office.
Yeah, you had to work.
I was at the post office and everything was great. And I ended up giving up the post office to sign a record deal. And the record deal didn't go that great. And it just landed me in a position where it's like, all right, I got to make some money. I'm still at home with mom.
Yeah.
So my auntie gave me a job as a janitor, and it just so happened to be one of them humbling experiences that you need.
Yeah.
And now everybody, I was pretty popular in my hometown. So now I'm seeing all my friends and,
Yeah, they're in school and
right.
You're a janitor. How did you feel?
Oh, I felt horrible, but I didn't know myself at the time. So I was still living to please people.
Yeah.
And I was affected by it, right? You go from 50 Cent had a line in the song where he say, damn, homie, in high school, you was the man, homie. What the heck happened to you? And that just kept going in my head. Like, I cannot believe I am a janitor right now, cleaning up a school every day.
Yeah.
Throw up every day.
And it must have been something also to live with the consequence of your decisions, right? Like, and have to face that. Like, I plagiarized, I got kicked out. I have to face my mom and my family and my friends.
Right.
That's a hard thing to do.
It is, but it's like that, and that right there, what you just said, that's the biggest misunderstanding of like karma, right? A lot of people think that karma is just this thing where, oh, well, go around, come around. Oh, you cheated on your girl, your next girl gonna cheat on you. And it's like, no, karma is just consequences to your actions, period. I could be in a relationship and cheat, and the karma of that is, she broke up with me. Right? Like, we don't look at it like that. So it's like, no, my decision making put me in this spot.
Yeah.
And now that I'm here, and it's never too late. That's the beautiful part about life. It's just never too late. Right? It all makes sense when you look back.
Right.
Like, at the time, it was just like, you freaking idiot.
Yeah.
Right? But now it's like, you could not run from it.
Yeah.
You couldn't run from it. You was too curious about it. You didn't want to do school. Every day after school, I was in the studio. I forgot his name, but he had a studio. And it was just like, it's just all something I always wanted to do. Right. So it's even kids, right? We that imagination is so strong. We fantasize and we daydream and they break us out of it. Focus, pay attention. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, nah, man, that's the
good stuff.
That's the stuff that make us who we are, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, even now I'm amazed because a lot of stuff you saying I forgot about. Like, oh my God, I was rapping. You know what I'm saying?
All the time.
Yeah. And it's like, wow.
And you had the Ivo, like that name, like you're like,
crazy.
Don't call me Ivory. But I don't know why. I just always called you Ivory.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But like, I remember like, I knew you were a rapper.
Right.
But then you were in school. And so I wasn't sure where it would take you.
Right.
And so it does not surprise me one bit.
Really?
Not
Be
one
honest.
bit. Not one bit.
Nah, because it just don't happen. It's not a lot of I don't know. I don't know how many I hate this word. How many, based on public opinion, what we might call like a local celebrity. I don't know how many of those you have in your like inner circle. Yeah. So that'd be my thing. Like a lot of people don't think it can really happen. Like, no. This like, no, like whatever you want to happen can happen.
Yeah.
Like even with you, like when I seen this, I was so shocked, but it was like, that is so her. Oh my gosh. That is, using her voice to change the world, right?
Change the world.
Yeah. And if your voice not loud enough, I'm gonna bring on the people that I think are impact. Like that's just that's the Andrea thing to do, right?
Yes. So, and then you're working as a janitor, you're at work.
Yes.
What is that feeling like, knowing there's more inside of you? And how do you translate that to actually taking action?
You know what? It hit me to the point where I am 110% sick and tired of this life that I'm living. Right. So even in the midst of me cleaning the bathrooms at that time, and my work schedule was like 3 to 9, 3 to 10. So it's after school. Right. Now here I am, this super popular guy in the neighborhood, and now we have a school function or a winter concert. Now I'm the guy that got to pull out 100 chairs for the parents to sit down. If something go wrong, hey, we need a janitor. Now I got to come. And now I'm seeing all these parents like, oh man, I go, Ivory, man, what up, man? What you doing here? And it's like, damn, do I lie like one of my kids go here? Or do I just do the man up thing, right?
What'd you do?
No, of course I just had to own up to it. Yeah. I had to own up to it. You know, it's some people who seen me in that element to where we still talk about it to this day, but it'll be times like I'm just in a school by myself.
Yeah.
And that is like very hard.
Yeah.
You go clean the bathroom and you look in the mirror and you just look at yourself for what you are, right? Nobody else around. You can't front. You just got to face yourself.
You got to face yourself. And the accountability mirror.
Everything. Yeah. I like the name of that. Everything.
That's by a guy named David Goggins.
We was just talking about David Goggins.
Really?
Yeah. How much weight did David lose?
I don't know.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, but like 200 or 150 or something like that. But yeah.
Yeah. I was just listening to David. Shout out to David Goggins.
Shout out to David Goggins.
Yeah. You're an incredible dude, man, and you're inspiring. Keep doing what you're doing. He'll get this too. Watch.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. Yeah. And that's just that facing myself, Dre. And it was like, and then I get the phone call. I got kids on the way. And it's like, well, a kid on the way. And it's like, what the heck? I'm a janitor. Like, I can't. Then the next week I get a call, it's twins. And it's like, we can't. And then it was just.
And were you in a relationship at that time?
I was in a relationship at that time. Yeah.
Okay. So were you happy? Surprised? Not ready?
Oh, as far as the kids go, or the relationship? When I found out about the kid, it was probably one of the greatest things I ever heard in my life. So I'm ecstatic, right? The twins part, that made me, I dropped the phone. I was like, just what? No way. Right? You're going from 0 to 2 kids and you're
double
twin.
Blessings.
Yeah. So it was just kind of like, oh my goodness. Right? Yeah. So it just literally I didn't take it well initially. Like I literally dropped the phone. Was
it because you weren't ready?
No, that's like, nobody think that can happen to them, right?
Yeah, because you were like amazed, astounded,
like 2 kids. Yeah, I'm thinking like, okay, it'll probably be a little girl. I got a gun, I got this, and then it's like, no, it's 2 of them, and it's 2 boys, and it's just As I look back now, though, I would say the very first day I found out it was twins, I was like completely shocked. And I was with all my cousins. And at that time I was drinking. So I was like drunk when I got the news, and I just couldn't believe it. But that very next day, it was just like, I'm built for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
And then what?
And the janitor days was over after that. I
Really?
can't even remember. Like, I honestly cannot remember the process it took to get out of that. I just know something clicked in me to where it was like, this is not it. I'm unhappy with my position in life. And I feel like I got everything I need inside of me to change it. And we just started changing it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So your boys inspired you to pursue that true calling.
Definitely. If you want to call it inspiration, if you want to call it inspiring, at that time, I don't believe too much in fear, but at that time I was scared as heck.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It was just fear. Like, oh my God, what am I gonna, you know what I'm saying? And it was just like, all right, calm down.
Calm down.
Yeah, calm down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what happened after that?
Yeah. So I had the kids, and I'm trying to think what happened in life after that. A lot of moving around, a lot of jobs. I got like management jobs at AutoZone. Then I go to FedEx, and then I go to Ice Mountain delivering water.
Yeah.
Right. And the Ice Mountain job was probably the icing on the cake. I was working like 16, 17-hour days, driving this big truck downtown. And I literally can recall moments where I would get out my work truck and like punch it, put dents in it.
No way, because you were just unhappy?
Just so unhappy, man. Like, this is not what I want to do. Like, $20 an hour delivering water. My back hurt. I'm getting a little chubby out here. I don't see my kids. I'm stuck in traffic. It take an hour to get to work, an hour to get back. It's like I'm going. It's just not. This is not it. Like, it's just not it. The money was great, but it was like, this is not it. And I just, man, so many mental breakdowns. And then at that job, my mom got extremely sick. And I'm not sure if you know, I lost my mom.
Through your music.
Yeah. So
sorry to hear that.
Thank you. So I lost mom while I was at the job. And
you would talk so highly of her in college.
Oh my gosh, I love my mom.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, and that situation here, Dre, and it was like, make a long story short, my job didn't want to give me like family medical leave of absence. So I tried to tough it up, go back to work early. And it's late a couple days. This job fired me like a month after my mom passed away for being late, like minutes. I think if you add up all the time that I was late, I think it was like 9 minutes total.
Yeah.
So so they let me go. And then after that, it was just.
That's a hard thing to go through.
Yeah.
That's isn't it? Like,
looking back, like I say, during the time when you in it, it's kind of like
losing your mom though. Like,
the mom part. Yeah, I thought you meant the job. Like,
no, you're not even thinking about the job. Who cares about the job? Your mom passed.
And that hurt. And I lost my job. I lost my mom, and then the money got tight. I lost my house. All right. So now here I am with a young lady who looks at me and trusts me, and I have 2 kids, and we're homeless.
No way.
Yeah. I was living in a hotel, and I don't want to get my cousin in trouble, but he was truck driving at the time. And he was out of town truck driving. So his company gave him a card to get a hotel every night. So he put me in a hotel room every night.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's how you got through.
Yeah. And he just so happened to be the one in the majority of my videos, right? So it was just like.
Rightfully so, probably.
Yeah. And just, I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot, Dre. Yep. And I know after that, I ended up getting another spot, and I just couldn't really find peace anywhere. Yeah. So I lost my mom. The mother of my kids lost her mom a year before I lost mine. So now here we are with all of these reoccurring feelings, and it's like I got to keep it together even around her. Yeah. And I couldn't. So I would just go to the car in the parking lot, and I probably smoke 20 cigarettes a day, right? Back drinking every day, just writing and drinking and just trying to figure this thing out, even to the
coping.
Point. Yeah. Like, just trying to, like, I wanted my mom back, you know? Like, at the end of the day, I wanted her back. And it's like, and I used to write all these things down, and it just so happened that my voice memo wasn't working. So I'm just like, and I rap. You familiar with the word cadences?
Yeah.
Okay, so I rap with so many different cadences and styles. Da-da-ba-da, da-da-ba-da-da-ba-da-ba-da. And sometimes I forget how they go. So it's like I got to record a voice memo. So something, I don't know. I ended up just recording it on my regular camera. And I was like, I'm going to upload this. And I uploaded it, and this video did like, I think I was telling you earlier, did like 11,000 views. And statistically, they say you get like 10,000 views, you the man in your neighborhood, right? So 11,000, I was like, oh, I'm the man, plus an extra 1,000, right? And I just thought I made it, and I just kept that thing going. Like, I'm just gonna start shooting videos in the car, and 11 turned to 15,000, and by the time 18,000 hit, it was like really like the world wasn't ready for me. I was
it works, myself. It clicks, and you're in your element,
right?
And like you said, cadences, and it's interesting because you see like certain segments, they'll like flip the beat, like, and you're just able to go with it.
Oh yeah,
that's that's incredible,
right? And that's another thing I had to realize, right?
Yeah.
Can you do it?
Hell no.
And that's why you view it as incredible, right? I can do it. So I never viewed it as incredible. It was just always
That's incredible to me that you didn't see it that way.
No, I didn't. Yeah. But nobody does, right? Like even your special gifts.
Yeah.
Right? You could speak life in a death situation. You always been good at it. Your mannerisms, you look at people when you talk, right? Yeah. It make you feel like she get me.
Yeah.
And you'll change the way somebody feel. To you, that's probably not spectacular. It's just, I'm just being, and everybody else like, no, dude, you don't understand. Like, you smile, you change the energy in a room, right?
Thank you.
It's just too much love coming out of you, right? Like, hate can't even coexist in a room with you. That's powerful, Dre, right? Yeah. And you probably never broke it down like that.
Never.
So that's me with my rap talent. That's a singer with their singing ability, right? They don't hear what you hear. I've been able to do this, and it comes easy. So it's like, what do life teach you? If you want something in life, you got to work hard at it. It always came easy. I didn't think this was nothing, right? Like, nah, it has to be harder than this. This is I can do this in my sleep.
You're like, this is too easy.
Right. It's too easy. So it has to be something else I'm supposed to be doing. Right?
Yeah.
Not knowing, like.
Did that mess with your mind a little bit? Like,
all the time. It still do.
How do you get over it? Like, and I'm glad you said that. It still do. Like,
yeah,
it's
no,
relatable.
It still do. It
yeah.
still do. But that come from lack of knowledge to me. Like, that's when I know I need to kind of recenter myself. When I feel like, moments that what I have is not good enough. Like my creative process, my gifts, my intangibles, it's just not good. And then I'd have to like recenter myself. Like, nah, it is good enough. But it's, other people. So let's, for lack of better terms, let's just say like the Superman cape, right? Like all of us is a Clark Kent, but everybody got that cape thing that make them so different from everybody else.
Yeah. What's your superpower?
It would be the way I put words together. But sometimes I ignore my cape when I see Drake put his on, right? Somebody who's so good with melodies, right? And it's like, that's not my gift. But he makes it look so cool, and that's his cape, right? Yeah. He can do so many things with his voice. I can't. I just got this dry sounding voice in my perspective, but I'm very good with words. So from a music aspect, it's like, I do understand, like Drake is probably the #1 artist, and you kind of find yourself in a position trying to, all right, I'm going to leave my cape in my closet. I'm about to do my best Drake impersonation, right? So that's why the radio's not the way it sounds. It's like,
like the imposter syndrome. Right. Like you feel like you have to be someone else. You can't be authentic.
Yeah, and that's the part that's like,
it's the lie.
When I say I still do, right. And I'm glad you just said it's the lie. Who was it? It was Ralph Smart. You listen to Ralph Smart at all?
No, I haven't.
All right, Ralph. What up, Ralph? And he was just saying, like, if people don't like you for who you are, what make you think they're gonna like you for who you not? Right. So these little impersonations that we put up to please, it's like, come on, man. Yeah. I'd rather, if you don't like me for who I am, you just don't. So I realized, like, this is my lane, right? Yeah. Like, I can speak extremely well. I'm pretty good with words, and I'm a fun guy. And that's who Vo is, right? You're not Drake. Give him his cape back. You're not the Migos. you can't do that. And it's good. But as far as like life and its balance, I have to play my role. I have to talk about what I talk about, right? So I cannot disrespect women. It's people that do disrespect women, but I'm pretty sure in their psyche, they came across some women that they felt needed to be disrespected, right? And they spoke on it, and I'm not here to, it's just not me. I cannot do it. Even if I come across a disrespectful young lady that probably deserve all of that energy, it's just my morals and my integrity won't allow me to do it. When it comes to a gentleman calling me, I step on his shoes, or it's just I don't react certain ways.
Yeah.
Right? A Caucasian male calling me the N-word, right? Like these things don't get a reaction out of me no more. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta let people exist in that little space that they exist in, and keep your stuff together. Now, when it comes to like my personal space, yeah, I'll get out of my element then. But other than that, I try to stay, this is who I am. This is what I'm here to do. And this is my part that balances this whole thing out.
Yeah.
Right? This is why my music is so refreshing to some, because they know what unfreshened music sound like.
Yeah.
Right. So I can pray that we get rid of all of this music, but then it's like, how beneficial would I be if everybody rapped the way I rap?
And imagine if you didn't take that role of, this is mine to do in the world.
Yeah. It's my responsibility.
It's your responsibility, and you can do it better than anyone else who would try to take your position.
Right.
And God help the world if we just let other people take our position.
Right.
Like, then it's like you're just under indexing,
Right.
like at some point, right?
Right.
Like, and so if you can do it and you are doing it, like I think that's why you're seeing so much of the success, because you're so authentic and you're staying true to your core values, your principles, your message. It resonates with people. People feel connected and they feel the authenticity.
Right.
And the world right now is just craving authenticity.
It is. And it took for me to realize that I have something to offer the world that nobody else does, right? Even outside of rapping. What am I rapping about? Right? I'm a majority of my life experiences, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I'm in a position to create where, like, even back then, how I would look at a Drake like, okay, these are the recipes for a hit record. And it's like, no, that was just a recipe for Drake. With me, it could be something completely different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just can be completely different. But I would rather just strike out as me, to be honest with you. And I feel good about it, because I can't lose. Can't nobody do this better than me, because it ain't no competition in this lane. Like, I rap about my life, like, and nobody's living my life.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and then it feels good when you're on the listening side to hear you in a position to be able to, like, I like my life.
Right.
I love my life. I'm good at what I'm doing, and I'm confident in it. Like, that's powerful stuff.
Recently,
and it spreads.
It wasn't always like that.
Yeah.
Nah, depressed, anxiety, fear, scared, worry, all of these things.
Yeah.
As of 3-4 months ago.
Really?
Yeah, like, no, it was bad. Depression, like, yeah.
Why? So you're working with Twista. We didn't even talk about Twista yet.
Right.
And Hollywood, and you're getting these endorsements and working with these, like, I don't know, big corporate sponsor and partners, like, and depression. Is it because you've seen too much, or what?
It's just what next. It's just what next. And that's the part of artistry. That's the part of not being happy with yourself. You let the world dictate your movement, right? Just because they're over it. Now they want something new. And they kind of put this little pressure on you to where it just doesn't exist, right? It just doesn't exist.
Yeah, what's your next hit going to be?
Right, what's the next one? Okay, Twista now. He ain't.
That was 3
Drake,
months ago.
It ain't Jay-Z,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And now you always, and there's I freaking love Twista.
Yeah.
Right, but just the concept of people mind, like, you kind of feel like you want people to think that you keep elevating, right? So I haven't seen you since college, right? Now, a piece of me, like, if I had to be honest with you, a piece of me will want you to think I'm doing just extremely well. Like, I always knew I just want people to be proud of me, right? And if I'm not in a position where you can say you're proud of me, I'll feel like a failure. I feel like I'm losing in life, right?
Yeah.
And you probably not even looking. I haven't seen you in a while. I just want to see you and catch up. And it's like, I kind of put on 15 pounds and my face been breaking out and I ain't doing good financially. I don't want you to see me like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're not even thinking that, right? But it's just this perception in my mind of what your perception. Speaking of Jay Shetty, I heard Jay Shetty say that we live in and he was actually quoting somebody. I forgot who. But it's like we living in this double perception, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I perceive you to perceive something and it forces me to. So, like, I think that you think I'm such and such.
Yeah.
And that forces me to act a
Yeah.
certain way. So it's like, it's just too much damn thinking, right?
Right.
Like I'm thinking what you thinking and you probably not even thinking this,
No.
right? So it's like all of this is going on.
But
Just-
I feel what you're saying because I understand exactly what you mean. Like
Right.
I'm a woman, I'm a mom, and I'm on camera, so I get self-conscious about how I look, and I
Right.
gained throughout the pandemic I had like 20 pounds. Like
Right.
I'm like, man, I don't know if I want to go on camera, and if I go on camera, how is it going to look?
Right.
And it makes me sometimes question, like, I don't know if I want to do in-person interviews,
Right.
Because I have more control over the virtual,
Right.
But then the part of me that's like, this is where I get my strength.
This is it.
It's
Yeah.
like the in person, like the energy
Yeah.
and meeting people. And I feel like that's what holds us. And so, God, don't ever let my ego get in the way of connecting with a human.
Right. Right.
You
So
know?
imagine if you did. What if you let fear or worry get the best of you,
Yeah.
right? Then
And-
you wouldn't
and-
do
and-
this.
exactly.
And then the detrimental part of it is you don't think mothers is watching you, right? You could probably be going through something that they can resonate with, and you're hiding that.
Right.
That's what causes them to go through depression. Now they
Mm-hmm.
feel like they the only ones going through it, all because we, and I'm
Yeah.
in a music industry. Like I was one of those kids where I had a very bad allergic reaction to dairy, and I never knew it. So like growing up, if I had a facial breakout, it was dairy caused, but I didn't know that. But I just pick at my face, and now that I'm older, I kind of got some blemishes, and it's like I'm in a music industry where everything has to be perfect. So if I'm shooting a music video, it's like everybody want to cake me up, and I'm just not like, fam, this image don't have to be perfect. It's
Right.
not. You know what I'm saying?
It's not perfect.
Do you know what this would do to the world to see somebody who probably dealt with acne
Yeah.
on top? You know what that would do to young men,
Yeah.
young women? And we hide these imperfections, man. And we, to just be honest with you, like we played our part in the world being the way it is. So people going through it, depression and I don't think none of that stuff exists on like a different mental level. I'm pretty sure we'll get into it, but I didn't want to be a part of people's hurt no more, right?
Yeah.
Like, nah.
No,
like,
I'm
not gonna show
I'm
these
showing
highlights.
up. I'm showing up as I am.
Yeah.
So how do you get yourself out of depression, and how did you recognize you were in it?
Now that's the hard part, right? Recognizing you in it. When
Yeah.
you recognize you in it, then it's like, whew,
Then you can change it.
then you could change it.
Yeah.
But recognizing it, stop
How long
making
did it take you?
excuses. It took 30 something years. Right?
Really?
30 something years.
Okay.
Yes. That I've literally just decided to take some type of self journey, because it's like you kind of want to figure out, where's all of this coming from? Who am I? Like really? Like, what am I? Why do I
Exist.
Yeah. And the older you get, man, I remember my teenage years, I would think a certain way. And then in my 20 years, why did I think that? Now in my 30 years, it's like, where the hell do thoughts come from? Right. And it's like, is you steady peeling back layers of
Of
knowledge,
the onion,
right?
yeah.
So where I'm at now, like, noticing depression was like, it took for me really to look at the relationships I had, the relationships I was affecting. I was losing friends, and everybody see it, but you typically the last person that see it. But if you are going through depression, I'm pretty sure. Let's go here, Dre. Let's go here. Because this is such a sensitive subject to the world right now.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I just encourage like all your listeners and all of my listeners, man, to just really get in tune with who you are. Because the places that I was at, and I'm like so confident and strong if you ask the people that's around me. So for me to go through this, I feel sorry for a lot of people. Like, this is a very tough thing to go through. Like actually finding out who you are and letting go everything you think you know, right? Everything you think you know, let that go. And like not start over, but just readjust this thing. Try to figure it out.
When you say let go of everything you think you know, do you mean let go of excuses, let go of the comparisons, let go
All of that, even comparisons, right? Like it could be just figure out how this thing works, right? Just figure it out. Like some people could be like, and I'm still there. I could have like some type of jealousy issues, right? Like, God, I'm physically fit, but it's like, I don't think I'm a bad looking guy, but I noticed that when I walk in the room, based on who was in the room, determine my mood, right? So if it's a couple chubby guys in the room, I notice my chest stick out more, like, oh, I'm the man, I got this.
Oh.
Right? But then what happened when that guy who's equally muscular walk in, but now he's 6'2", right? I'm only 5'8". So naturally, I don't know if people can relate to this, but just me naturally, I always look at things and size them up based on what I'm not. So if I'm looking at this guy and I'm with my girl, I'm thinking like, yeah, she probably think he hot. You know what I'm saying? He's 6'2", and I just get the name and all these things that I'm not.
Really?
Right? Yeah.
I wouldn't think that you did that.
I don't think nobody would, right?
Yeah.
Just based on what? Confidence?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
But you can be confident in the insecurity.
Yeah.
And I was confident in my insecurities.
I'm so glad you're talking about this.
Oh, yeah. No. Most definitely, man. So, and it's like not understanding that this guy probably not as funny as me. You're right.
You're right.
He probably can't rap as good. He probably don't have that ability to just speak and change things, right? And it's like, it took for me to realize I want to stop being jealous. I just don't like to be jealous, right? So just like depressed, I don't like to be depressed. And once you realize that you are that, you start looking at, okay, where the hell does this? Oh, jealousy comes from that word you just mentioned, comparison. I can't be jealous of nobody if I don't compare myself to nobody. And you start to unlock something that we should have known, but it's like we really didn't know. Like, okay, so I understand who I am. I understand how jealousy works. I understand the foundation of jealousy is comparison. It can only happen when I compare myself to something.
Yeah.
What
the
is
Bible
comparison?
says comparison is the thief of joy.
The thief of joy, right? And it does. It steals your joy.
It does.
It'll add to it too if you better than somebody.
Only,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But it's in. I was listening to Sadhguru on that one, and it's just like, man, you want to be the best at everything. So when you walk in the room, you want to be the most handsome guy, the tallest guy, the most talented, the charming, the one all the ladies like. You want to, and it's just like, why is life only fun to me when I'm winning at everything? When I'm on top, when all the girls like, what about this guy?
Dang,
right?
that's
What about
deep.
this person? Or what about, why is life only fun when I'm on top of it? Right? One of my friends get it. It's like, oh yeah, baby, you did it. But then deep down inside, it's like, damn it, man. I like to help people. I like to give to people. Like, it ain't that I didn't want him to have it. I just wanted it so I can put a smile on everybody's face. When I come back with, hey, I bought you this. I bought you this.
Because don't you think that there's a little bit of that's almost like the way when success happens to someone, especially if they're in your industry and they're within your craft, right? And you feel that, I don't know what that word is, like that sting of that could be me, or I could be doing something similar. I think that there's an internal calling that's saying, this is yours too. And maybe you achieve it differently, but I feel like maybe in some way that's also calling you to step up in a different way, to show up in a different way.
I think so. If I follow you correctly, I think so. So from what I'm taking from it is just like that competitive nature to be the like we all want to be the best.
Like what attracts us, like what we're attracted to. So the areas that you draw your focus to, your attention to, what, where you're gravitating towards, that is your calling.
I would say I don't disagree with that. Could it be other ways? I'm not sure. Different people is different things.
Yeah.
With me, you hit it on the head, right? What I just naturally gravitated to, what I was naturally curious about. That's just seemed like I'm curious about it for a reason, right? It's kind of like
I'm putting words together for a reason.
So you got The Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren.
Yeah.
In that book, I can't tell you the exact page, but in that book, he says something like your frustration is your allocation, right? Meaning, I think it's in the 5th chapter. Look it up.
It's right there. It's right there.
Yeah. So the thing that frustrates you is probably the thing that you're supposed to be doing. And the reason why it frustrates you, because it's in you to change it. So if I do not like pastoral, like the churches, man, it probably frustrate me because it's something in me to change it, right? So that's how like Rick will look at it, right? But then how you will look at it, it's like what you gravitate to. And I agree with all of it, because it's like music does frustrate. Why do they do it? That's stupid. That's not, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's in me to change it. And then you saying what you naturally gravitate to. It's like, I was in class and it's like, Dre, like I thought I really tried to pay attention and I couldn't, man. I just couldn't. I just could not stop doing this. Even to this day, like I just cannot. it just got to come out, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's no running away from it.
No running away from it.
Yeah, it's no running away from it. And that's why I would say we should kind of lose the competitive nature, right? Because there's no competition, man. Like, what are we in competition with?
No.
It's not like only one person could get it. Like, what's for me is for me. Once I tap into me, I wake up at like 3:30 in the morning.
Do you?
Not because I think you wake up at 2, but because I know what it feels like to wake up at 7 or 8. And I feel like I missed the ball that late. So I wake up, I get my meditating, I pray. I listen to a little Ralph Smart, Jay Shetty, Tony Robbins, something, right? I listen to something just to, I literally just got on Instagram when I pulled up at your house. Like, let me check my Instagram, right? And it's what time? It was like almost 11.
Yeah.
I've been up since 3, 4 o'clock. A lot of people, that's the first thing they do. You know what I'm saying? I can't do it.
Yeah. You feed your mind.
Yeah. And it got to come out. Anything you put in, it just got to come out.
Yeah.
And I just don't want that in right now. Certain music I can't listen to no more. It's just, I don't want that in me.
So you talked about taking care of like your body, or I forgot the language that you used, but you pointed to your body, and you talked about drinking and before just being in a different state of mind.
Right.
How does that affect your craft and your ability to perform? And like, what do you do to keep yourself in a right state of mind?
Yeah, definitely centered. I don't think.
Aside from like you just said meditation.
Right.
Like those stuff.
That's big for me. Oh my God, that's big for me.
Yeah.
And I encourage a lot of people to do that. A lot of people don't know where to start. Or I hear a lot of people like, man, teach me how to do it. And it's like literally, to me, like meditation is literally like the art of doing nothing. Just don't do nothing.
So what's your process?
Man, I listen to I'm not big on, I got an app and I use an app that kind of walk me through a lot of stuff. And I got like a whole little routine that I do based through the app. Well, I tell y'all the app is called Headspace. I just don't like naming that. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the Headspace endorser.
And I don't know the owners. I don't know what they stand for. I don't know if this is so I don't like empowering people that I don't know.
But you use an app to help you stay in meditation mode and stuff like that.
And it helps to figure out, all right, I got a lot of, like, the typical human being think like between 10 to 70,000 thoughts a day. That is a lot going on. Right.
Yeah,
and we just unaware of it. Even as a kid, it's just, that's why they can't sit still. It just come. And when you get older, you get taught like, no, that's not the way to live. You got to get control and meditate, man. It just put me in a real place of, okay, I understand me. I understand these thoughts. Calm down. I understand the power of, let's say something like imagination, right? Mm-hmm. It's a word we hear all the time.
All the time.
It is so deadly and so powerful,
mm-hmm.
right? That we don't, even as adults, we don't really like.
Why is imagination deadly?
That's where everything happens, in your imagination, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing that keep you up at night. That's the thing that you tossing and turning about, right? A lot of people are going through a lot of stuff in life, but there is a lot of people that went through certain stuff that refuse to go through it again. They refuse to let it go. And their imagination, you can be in that relationship. He cheated on you, right? Mm-hmm. All you know is he cheated, right? He partaked in unfaithful activities with this young lady, even if it was intercourse.
Yeah.
Right? That's factual. That hurts.
Yeah.
Now, what your imagination does is try to piece all of this together. So the way he touched you, you imagine him touching her that way. The sounds he make with you, and your imagination just start to, and none of this stuff like
you sound like you've been through this.
Oh my God. And not even just relationships, anything, right?
Yeah.
Anything. It could be some bad press about you on social media, which happened to me as well. And you just keep reliving it.
Yeah.
And now you over it. Now you're going on it. Now it's hard for me to trust this new girl. Or now it's hard for me to, I don't even want to do music no more at this level. I kind of like want to make it, but I kind of don't. I kind of don't want to be in the spotlight. What if I got to go through this humiliating again? Mm-hmm. And it's all imagination. Like none of this is going on.
Yeah.
It just invented it, right? So that's why I told you earlier, like fear, depression, anxiety. I know that these are words, but we as people got to get to that point where it's like, look, fam, just because people say it, don't make it true.
Right.
Just because we know a word called fear exists doesn't make it true, right? You can't hand it to me. Give me some fear. You can't give it to me, right? It's only something you can feel. And if it's something that only you can feel, then you're the creator of that. It don't even exist. So it's like, how am I scared of anything if scared don't even exist? It just doesn't exist. It only exists in here. So the thing that scares you, it don't scare me. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because your fear factor that you created works different than the one that I created.
Mm-hmm.
So this movie might have you like, right? And you might just be a little disturbed, or you let something in your spirit that kind of, but fear is man-made. We made it. And then they told us that this is what it is, and we just been going with it. Like, oh yeah, my biggest fear is, and it's like, your biggest what? Like, it don't even exist. What is it?
So do you have any fears? No, you're saying you don't.
Nah, I don't even believe in fear is what I'm saying.
Do you not get fearful for your kids, like for their futures?
In what regard?
Like, I hope they grow up to be great.
Nah, that's them. That's them. I'm just going to do everything I can to be there for them. But I am extremely confident with my ability and the God that I serve, that I might have a concern or two. Like, it might be a concern where it's like, I really want to get myself in a position to build an empire and get some, get some residual income coming in to the point
build
that's
generational wealth
right,
for your family.
Just because I do know generations get smarter, but they don't necessarily get stronger, right? Like, what we went through was devastating. And here I go using a word I said we shouldn't use, compare. But I do often think about what my parents went through.
Yeah.
So I can complain about the racism that I face, but I'm in a position now where I can actually make a record called Black Man and talk about this.
Yeah.
They would have killed me in my grandparents' era for even making this. I couldn't even, so although it's still going on, it's like, so yeah, I do have concerns with my kids. Like, what if they not strong as me to go through this, right? Somebody calling them out their name. What if they not strong enough? Right. And it's like, okay, I got to get on my job. I got to, you know what I'm saying? I just got to teach them what I think they need to know. But outside of that, it's like, nah, I have no expectations on my kids' life or what they want to be. I have no expectations. I just put them in everything. You want to do karate? Let's do it. Football, whatever. Right. I love football. I love music. Of course, I would want to kind of force that on them. But it's like, it's not a coincidence that my father is one of the biggest personal trainers in the city of Chicago. And here I am into personal training, right? It just seems
apple doesn't far fall from the tree.
Right. And that's why I say, like, and why is that?
Yeah. Why?
And that's what I don't know. Like, why is that? So if I was the owner of McDonald's, if he was my father, would I not look like this? And that's how something can change. If I was not have the parents I had and I grew up in India, I'll probably be a monk. Or if I grew up in this area, I'll probably be a Catholic, or, you know what I'm saying? And we don't take that into consideration, and we get arrogant with our lifestyle. This is the way it is. No, your sons are supposed to, we put and it's just like based on how you were raised. And then you taught me to do what they taught you to do. And now I got to teach them to, and it's like, just the kids, they gonna find it. I had people try to parent me and like, no, like what was going to happen in my life happened.
Right.
Yeah. This is just what I was curious about.
Yeah.
And only I can figure that out. There was no school to teach me how to do this.
And then you creating the music and what you're doing now, that's something for them to pick up later. Like they're going to hear your music. They're going to hear and receive what you're putting out. It's probably just more fuel.
Right. And that's like my why.
Yeah.
In case they not strong enough, I'm going to leave a bunch of breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
To go back and kind of, so it's personal with me. It's definitely personal with me. Yeah. Yeah. But I love it, man.
And you're doing, so how did Twista come about? Like when you were crossed that threshold of known in your local town, but now you're getting picked up and recognized by industry folk.
Right.
And you're getting some of that, mainstream respect. What does that feel like? And how did that crossover or that breakthrough happen?
Yeah. Well, the Twista situation was more than a situation. Like anybody who like really know me, I'm like a diehard Twista fan.
Yeah. Gent, when I told Gent and my sister and I'm like, yeah. And he's Andrew. He goes, you remember Ivory loved Twista?
Oh my
and I'm
God.
like, no, I didn't remember that. He goes, Andrea, He loved
Loved
Twista.
Twista. Know
Like,
every
good to
word.
know.
Yeah, know every word, everything.
Well, shout out, Jen.
Yeah. What up, Jen? I love Jen, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we
He's another one of those people who just have great energy.
yeah,
like,
he always been that way.
always.
Just a phenomenal dude. Like I've never heard nothing bad about Jen. Now that I think about it.
yeah.
Not one thing. Like not one person had something. He just a good dude, man.
Yeah.
He always been that way. I love to see him to this day.
You will.
Yeah.
We'll get together.
But I forgot the question. Speaking on Jen, threw me so many touchdowns, man. Shout out to Jen, man. He the best quarterback I ever had, man.
We were talking about Twista.
Yeah. Oh.
And how you were a fan.
Yeah. So I had to make an appearance at a celebrity basketball game, and Twista happened to be there. And
Did you know him at that point?
No. Oh my God. I was so. It was.
How many years back was this?
This was 3.5 years ago.
Okay.
Right, 3.5, maybe 3 years. So I got to do the celebrity basketball game, and I know he on the lineup. I know he gonna be there, and I do know that I'm a super fan. So it's like,
And was this your biggest like event to date at that time? Like your biggest?
I would say so. Probably not. I've done some big events, but it was big because it's like Twista. Like, oh my goodness. So of course he walks in, and I'm just going through this thing where it's like, bro, like you such a nice guy. You got a big heart, and that can come off. Kind of, you just can't walk up to everybody giving them their flowers, right? Everybody don't receive it, and some people be like, right? And it's like I'm gonna try to turn my groupie down, compose myself. I'm not gonna go crazy.
Calm down, Ivory.
Right. So a guy named Eric the Wiz, Eric Sexton, he was my manager, and he walked me up to Twist and was like, "Hey, Twist, what up, man? Hey, this he was like," and Twister was like, "Oh, this Vo, man. I know Vo." And oh my God, all that groupie stuff went out the window, right? Like it was like what do you do? What do you do when you're preparing to turn down your fandom? And here this guy is like letting no. I trust me, I know who this dude is, right? And it's just like, oh my God, Twist, hey, you the GOAT, you the best, man. I want to work with you. So and I just couldn't contain it, right? And this was on maybe like a Saturday. I had a song with Twista by that Friday.
No way.
Yeah, he was like, man, send me whatever song you want me to get on. And he was there with like 20 people, and the 20 people was like, oh man, that go Vo, man. And I'm just like, this can't be real. Not off no internet, all right? And I think he went to like China or something. He had to perform somewhere, ended up coming back and cut the record and sent it to me at, I don't know, like 12:30 in the morning, right? Yeah,
what did that moment feel like?
Oh my God, it was a wrap. It was a wrap, right? It was a wrap. Thinking back to it, man, I'm smiling now thinking about it.
I'm smiling
man,
now.
I couldn't go to bed. I couldn't go to bed and just and I'm just like, oh my God, this cannot be real. It can't be real. And then we had Jeremiah on the song.
Yeah.
Right? So it was me, Twista, and Jeremiah, and there was some stuff going on with Jeremiah label, and I think Jeremiah ended up going to like Japan for a little tour, and it just didn't work out. So we ended up getting somebody, and I think that would have been a good look with Jeremiah, but a guy named Mike Notes hopped on it, and it was just a phenomenal record to me. Even to this day, it was like, I can't believe I did that. And now me and Twista talk like on a regular, like.
Shout out to Twista.
Yeah, shout out. What up, bro?
And for people like that's a lot to have someone that level be so welcoming.
And he always do it. Like as far as Chicago go, Twista, like he never left. He always held us down. Every artist that made some noise from here, like got a Twista feature.
Yeah.
You know, from Chance to me to Ye made it without a Twista feature, but of course they got music together now. But like Lupe might be the only one I can think of that does not have a twist. But everybody else is like, it's like, man, this dude he just got a big heart, man. We need to show him a little bit more appreciation too, man.
He need his flowers.
Twista, good dude. Yeah. He's phenomenal individual. Mm-hmm. Yep. Never charged me $1 for nothing.
What?
Getting in the car. He been in the car like twice. Just that natural, like make time.
Wow.
Yeah. And then he'll have that mindset of like, bro, just do it for somebody else. Like what I do, just do it for, like, he's just that type of guy. Mm-hmm. And it's just, he phenomenal, man. Good dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then how did that change? What did that do for you in terms of an artist, in terms of your craft?
It took my confidence to a level, because even with the whole, meditating and willing stuff in your life, it was kind of felt like maybe I willed this. Like, this is all I used to think about. Just to sit in the room with Twista and just, and it kind of like, it gave me like some inner power, like, oh, this is real. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. This is real. Like, man, the combination of faith and works is real.
I manifested this. Yeah. Like, this is happening. This is powerful. Real. Thank you for listening to Tuesdays with Andrea. There are hundreds of thousands of podcasts out there, and I appreciate you making the time to listen to mine. If you like this show and want to know more, check out TuesdaysWithAndrea.com, or please leave a review on iTunes or drop a line in the YouTube comments section. Until next time, please stay kind in your mind, nice on the web, and stay hella hopeful in your heart.